So what if there was a material for hiking and backpacking that was soft, breathable, but insulating, and weighed virtually nothing? I'm talking about less than a handful of trail mix. Maybe something that dries impossibly fast, packs down to the size of, I don't know, an orange, and doesn't require you to stop every 15 minutes to adjust layers. The holy grail, am I right? Well, I've got good news. It does exist. It's Ultralight Fleece, AKA Alpha, AKA Active Fleece, AKA any number of other branded materials. And we've tested several over the years, some more recently than others, to see if these materials are all they're cracked up to be. And, well, we had mixed feelings. And spoiler alert, we don't think most people should buy any of them, unless you're aware of a few things. But let's back up to the beginning. My first, well, what we'll call ultralight fleece was this Pace Flow zip up from Houdini. This is their newer pullover, but I started with their zip up. I got that one a few years ago because it's circular, meaning it's made of recyclable materials and can be recycled at the end of its usable life. It's from an environmentally friendly brand, and frankly, because this one seemed more durable than other ultralight options out there that I'd seen, like Alpha. And it turns out I was right about that, because in the last year, I got to try out a few more options. A Polartec Alpha Direct from Leave Outdoors, which is the original ultralight fleece material, a Primaloft Active Evolve fleece from Backcountry, and a Tahine Octa option from Samba. And frankly, well, I think they should all come with a warning label. We'll get to what that should say in a sec, but to be clear, I knew the risks of hiking in this type of material from the start. Mainly, it's delicate. If you're not familiar with this type of material, it's basically see-through. It's designed to be extremely breathable, after all, and sure, you can get heavier weights of some of it that's more robust, but it's just gonna prolong the inevitable. That it will tear. I mean, guaranteed. It's just a matter of time. That's because these materials, which are designed to be super breathable and extremely insulating for their weight when layered under a windproof layer anyway, all of which are super awesome for backpacking, especially of the ultralight variety, are basically snag magnets, which kind of sounds like a fresh new type of insult. I just can't decide for what. What the heck? Drop your ideas in the comments. But branches, zippers, backpack hardware can all catch on the loose weaves super easily, and before you know it, you've ripped your new hoodie wide open. Which is why I think these things should come with a warning label. Super delicate, do not buy unless you can sew. Honestly, after my Alpha's second trip, a canoe trip on the Allagash in Maine no less, where there was zero bushwhacking, I came home and had a silver dollar-sized hole in my armpit. The Active Evolve pullover, well, it shed what felt like half of its fibers on my jacket on the first couple of wears before washing it slowed its roll a little bit. That did help. Plus, I had at least half a dozen snags after wearing it for a week. The Octa, well, I haven't managed to damage it yet. Maybe because it's smooth on the outside, so less prone to catching on every little thing, but it's gonna happen eventually. Even the Houdini layer, which is a special Polartec Power Dry mesh concoction, has a few small snags at this point. Although I do stand by that one as the burliest of the bunch. And this isn't just me being rough on my gear. Online reviews confirm these and other options are just accidents waiting to happen. Look at this one. The first time I wore this, it got a massive hole in it, and I'm not too sure how, because I wore it as a casual fleece. Too delicate to be practical, plus it sheds like a cat even after washing. I have yellow fuzz everywhere in my car. Or this one. A tear at the seam towards the back of the neck at the base of the hoodie is coming apart. Now, this isn't all of the reviews. Ultralight backpackers specifically tend to know what they're in for when they're getting this kind of fleece material, so tend to take care of them and are willing to make those repairs, so you'll see more positive reviews on websites we love like Garage Grown Gear, where the entire community shopping there is ultralight backpackers. But it's clear that not everyone understands what these materials are for and how delicate they are. So yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say most of those people shouldn't buy an ultralight fleece. The exception is those die-hard ultralight backpackers who know the risks and are willing to do repairs. Yes, I'm talking about sewing skills or taking it to a repair shop when necessary. Yeah, seamstresses and tailors still exist. Also, full disclosure, you can pry this Houdini and the Alpha Fleece out of my cold dead hands, for real. Both of those specifically are two of my favorite active layers for chilly hikes and backpacking, but I'm pretty proficient with a needle and thread and absolutely willing to fix good gear that makes my days on trail more comfortable and functional. If that's not you, maybe move along to a more durable fabric. Ultralight fleece isn't for everyone. Maybe try a grid fleece, several of which we've reviewed and love. We'll link to that article below. All I'm saying is, know what you're getting into if you're considering ultralight fleece, understand what the limitations are of these fabrics, and learn how to do a basic whip stitch by hand, or just don't buy an ultralight fleece. You can't get mad at innovative ultralight materials for not being Kevlar. And then backpack happy and warm and without having to shed so many layers all the time.